morning, and welcome to Winnipeg. Doesn't matter how I turn that mug, it says Winnipeg. Well, if you turn it like this, you see the Jets logo maybe a little better. For those of you who are sports fans. Yeah, when the Jets win, I'm happy, but I haven't been to a Jets game for, I'm guessing, 40 years. Yeah. Anyway, what is with all the wire? Okay, here's what's happened. A couple of viewers were talking about telephone wire. You could use telephone wire. You remember yesterday I was saying I didn't know what I was going to do to connect our LEDs up because the wire that I bought was just way too heavy. Yeah, it doesn't take very much power to run an LED. A really, really fine wire is all you need. It's not like you're going to be running your toaster in the kitchen or something. Anyway, yeah, it got me to thinking. I got, sometimes you'll buy a device that will plug into your telephone outlet and you don't need the cable. Well, down in my workshop, I got stuff like this. In fact, I've got a box underneath my workbench that's loaded with all kinds of leftover wire. When you're a tinkerer like me, you do stuff and you don't throw out the extra. You keep it. Because maybe someday you might actually need it. And right now, maybe I do. And I'm thinking that possibly this telephone wire, I think because this happens to be a flat one, I don't think that when I take the jacket off, it's going to be all curled up. Or there's Ethernet wire. I got lots of that from when I was rigging up my surveillance system. I was putting plugs on and adjusting wire and stuff like that. And don't know if you can see it, but here's samples of the wire. It's quite fine. It's a lot smaller in diameter than that wire that I bought from Amazon a month ago. Anyway, I was thinking, I just want to see if I was to take the jacket off of this, what would it look like? Well, I guess this is that. Inside here there are 8 small wires. Yeah, exactly what we need. Color is wrong, but that doesn't matter. If the LED doesn't light up, then just reverse the wires. It's not rocket science. Okay. We have a rollback. I did come back to the model table and I worked a little bit on our G25 here that we'd broken. Oh, by the way, it turns out that piece was already broken. Both myself and another viewer noticed that piece was already broken before we dragged it into the scene and started nipping the sprue off. Now, that does not mean that I didn't break it. I think I talk about that in the rollback. Yeah, I think that's about all I have to say here. We're already at 0.5 degrees Celsius, and it's only 7:40 in the morning. We are probably going to have a very mild day here, which is most unusual for the end of January. But hey, I don't care because outside, most of the snow has slid off my car. Yeah. Now, that'd be kind of nice. I could maybe get out and go to the lumber yard and get my 2x4s that I need for my bike box. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay. Oh, remember yesterday I was talking about you go to the dollar store and you could get earphones or something like that they used to sell that kind of stuff for literally for $1. Well, you just save the wire that you need, or maybe if you want really super fine wire, you break the part apart and the little tiny electromagnet has this super fine, smaller than a hair wire. And I can't remember why it was I needed it or wanted it years ago, but hey, I found that was a cheap way an inexpensive way to get very, very fine wire. Okay. Oh, Yesterday, when my neighbor was over for coffee, I relayed to him a rather pleasant experience, and this is it. I gotta tell you about this. You know how I'm always saying I like to be honest in my workshop videos and in my model videos, and I tell it like it is, and I try to be as honest anyway as possible. And after a while, I was beginning to think I'm probably the only one in the world that's like that. That cares about honesty. And but anyway, here's what happened. And apparently I'm not. But okay, again, here's what's happened. I think it takes me a long time to get going, doesn't it? Okay, got an email from Anna at Bill's Cycle in Steinbach, and what had happened was I had been inquiring about getting enough oil and filters and everything to do at least to do 2 oil changes. And then in my inquiry to her, I mentioned something about now that I'd already paid them X number of dollars, so my balance should be, a certain amount. I can't remember exactly what it was to the dollar now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So she emails back and tells me about the oil and everything, and then sort of she tells me about now brace yourselves. She says, I can't remember word for word, but this is how it goes. Because the freight was less than we thought it was going to be, your bottom line is less than we thought it was going to be. When does that ever happen? When an outfit will tell you, hey, we saved money on the freight, so we're going to pass that on to you. Like when here in Canada, Honda Canada has set prices up, and the price of the bike will be the same all across Canada, except for whatever the freight has to be. That gets added on. Like, I don't know, Winnipeg is probably one of the more expensive ones because we're sort of in the middle of the country. I can well imagine the people in Vancouver, might get it a little cheaper because, hey, that's where the ship lands, right? From Japan. Anyway, enough about that. But when does that ever happen? So I was telling my neighbor this story, and he says, no, that's integrity. That's integrity. I just wanted to pass that on. It's sure nice to see that sort of thing in this day and age when there's nothing but greed. I mean, we as a people have become very greedy. I think I've talked about that before. And all you have to do is just look at the type of people that we are voting in as our leaders. Greed personified. Yeah. It's a sad commentary on us as a society. Anyway, Bill's Cycle, thumbs up to you. That was really something. I just had to pass that on. You know what? I'm kind of lost for words here, so I think what we should do is just roll back. Okay, continuing right along here this evening. Now, I think our broken connection, which is right there, is about as healed as it's going to get here. I've been trying to think what is going to be the best way to try and you probably can't see it from way back there, but there's a little piece of sprue connection right there, very close to the brake that we're going to have to try and nip off. And I was thinking, what is going to be the safest way so that I put the least amount of stress on that brake while I'm nipping it off? And I think that the best way would be to probably not be hanging onto this while I'm nipping. So if I can just grab a hold of it, just right on the very edge of this piece of this, you might call it, I guess, a bar, and just very, very gently just grab hold of it, and then once the tension is on, let go. Make sure, first of all, that I'm not going to be nipping through anything. Maybe I should have the macro lens on? Yeah, let's see if we can do this nice and close. Oh, one more thing. When I was editing everything out and I was looking at the video close up, I realized that this break, it was already there before I started to nip off these various connections. Now, that doesn't mean that I didn't break it. I might have broken it who knows when. Maybe when I did the sprue check a couple of months ago or whenever. But it was already broken. I thought I had broken it just then, but I didn't. Okay, let's get our macro lens on and move in. Okay, if I can keep this part now pretty much where it's positioned right here, and what we want to do is just grab hold of this. You can see that this sprue connection is very close to where the brake is. And if I don't get it really good, I'm not going to try and sand it, because trying to sand it's probably only going to make things worse. Now, oops. Sorry about this. When I was sitting up here to do this, I thought this was a good idea, but maybe it's not too good. You know, but I would like to, you know, tape this whole thing down onto this piece of wood. That would be ideal, except that then the system that I'm trying to do here, to not put any stress on the brake. Let's try it again now. Try and get in there. Just okay. Now I'm lifting it free, and I'm just slowly squeezing. There we go. Got it. I think we did pretty good. Maybe why don't I use this same system for the rest of them? Okay. To check the monitor, see if I'm still in the frame. Okay. Go right up against the edge there. Yeah, did pretty good. Now, some of these others, now in order to get this one, maybe I'm going to have to just flip everything over very gently here. Yeah, like that. And we'll come in from the other side. I did remember to press record, I hope. Otherwise, if I didn't, I'm talking to myself. Pull it out a bit here. Not quite as good. Okay, how about this one here? This one might be easier. That means it's going to be harder. Come on. I don't want to get too close, or I'm going to end up cutting the thing in half. Well, it's not bad. Now, some of these others here, where'd it go? Not too bad. How about this? There's another one like that. Yeah, not bad. Now, did we do this one? Not really. Okay, I don't think I'm going to try and improve on this. Our brake is still, our brake is actually right there. That's where the brake is. And it's still not broken. Okay, we've got our G25 here done. That just leaves 4 more. And I think what I'm going to do is do them pretty much the same way. Only I'll be able to hold them a little bit more easier for me here. And the idea is I'm just going to get the cutter in exactly the right place, and then like right now, and then I'm just going to let it fall in my hand here like that. That's not too bad. I might have been able to go a little closer, but I was afraid of cutting through the rod. These are so fragile. They're kind of like the ensign flag staff on the battleships, only maybe even finer. I'm not sure. Okay, it's going to have to do. I'm not going to try to sand them. Because then for sure I'm probably going to break it off. Just let me see if I can maybe get a little closer. Well, why am I telling you about it? You can't even see this thing, so how can you possibly see? Yeah, I got a little bit off there. Okay, that's going to have to do. Okay, I'm just going to do the rest of them off camera now, and yeah, we'll see you in the morning. Now, when I was reaming these holes out with this reamer, which just happens to be exactly the right size for this job, these reamers, they come in different sizes. They come smaller than this. The smaller ones I would refer to as a broach, not a reamer. And they would use something really small if you were in watchmaking, if you wanted to increase the size of a hole that you had in the plate of the clock or whatever, and you just needed to make it just tiny bit smaller. You'd use what I call a broach, which is similar to this, only it's very, very small, like a needle. Anyway, enough about that. When I was doing that, and just let me carefully rearrange here. Okay. So I was going down through the hole, and I was thinking, I've got to make note now of how far down did I go. Okay, like you can see it's stopping right there. That was about it. And I was thinking now, what could I do there? And I was thinking about my locking collars that I just brought up from the workshop. Now, we got a comment from Tennessee Jim, and he said I could use blue tape. Well, Jim, I'm sorry, I don't have blue tape. I do have locking collars. This one might be right. Now, the problem is with using a locking collar on something like this is that these things are designed to cut on the edges, on the flutes, whereas a drill bit like this one over here, the only place you got to really worry about keeping sharp is the end of it. That's the part that you want sharp. The sides don't really matter. Now, if I was to use my locking collars, and I thought about this afterwards, there is the chance that I'm going to damage the cutting ability wherever I put the collar, because it's going to sort of squeeze in a little bit. So maybe blue tape is the way to go. But unfortunately, I don't have blue tape, but I've got green tape. I've got yellow tape. But sorry, Jim, I just don't have any blue tape. So I like the idea, though, of using tape. So I'm going to forget about my locking collars, but I just kind of wanted to show you. Just for the fun of it, let's try this one here. This one might do it. This one might be just about the right size, but I'm afraid to take my Allen key here and crimp this down, because I don't want to damage this. Yeah, I never did find out who it was that sent this to me. I feel bad about that. Okay, let's move on here, because we want to look at our wire. I just wanted to mention this before I forget about it. Now, I can't remember if I've actually used this thing. I know what it's for, but it seems to me that if I remember, when I looked at it, I thought that the hole for the largest wire that you were supposed to strip the jacket off, I thought it seemed to me that it was a little bit too small. And I was afraid that what could happen is that it would cut not only the jacket, but then down into the wires as well. But just for the fun of it, let's just try this here. I know how it's supposed to work. Okay, so now if we take this off, the jacket should be cut, and the wires shouldn't. Maybe I didn't go this. Yeah, maybe this actually works. You know, it could be that I didn't go enough. Maybe instead of going 2 times around, I should have gone 3 times around. Okay, so now we've got all our wires showing. Now these will come in. Okay, this is not a wire. This is to give the cable, the overall cable strength. The tensile strength of this thing is probably quite good, and its stretching ability is the complete opposite of easy line. In other words, it doesn't stretch. So these should be in groups of 2, and there should be 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we got our 4 wires there. So yeah, this might work. This would give us, you know, we could get 8 wires out of this. They can be, you know, untwisted. And I'm thinking that what I should do when I when I solder the LED onto it, I should give myself lots of lead, so that no matter where I decide to, like how far away I'm going to have my potentiometer that is going to be fastened onto each LED, because that's the way I want to do it. I want to be able to individually adjust each LED. Because and now I know that probably most of them will be at their maximum brightness, but some of them, if they're at their maximum brightness, it just won't look right, and I want to be able to turn it down. So let's just try a little further back, see how far can we get this off here. Let's see. Now I would want the lines at least. I'm thinking at least that long. Yeah, I think we'll. So let's just try it. I got lots of this wire here. Yeah, this is probably where a rubber band was on it, and the rubber band has long since gone hard. Okay, we'll just try it again. This time I'll go around 3 times. Okay, we'll get it on. Be careful not to cut myself here. Let's see. There we go. Okay, well, let's go around 3 times. Okay, there's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now we'll take it off. Nah, maybe that wasn't enough. And here was me worried about cutting the wires. Okay, now hopefully this can be worked off. Maybe I should do this off camera. What do you think? It might be binding a little bit here on the end. I'm going to just quickly do this off camera. Okay, as my dear mother used to say, see, Sam, that wasn't so bad. Okay, we'll get rid of this. I don't think I need to save it. Dental floss, yeah. Maybe for a horse. Okay, I think I told you the story about why my mother used to say, see, Sam, that wasn't so bad, a lot. Well, when my mom was a little girl, at least this is the way she is told the story, she was told a story, or there was a popular story maybe at that time, about a little kid who had to go to the doctor. Why is this not cutting now? For something like an inoculation. And let's find something better here. I'll be right back. Anyway, little kid gets to the, not that way. Little kid gets to the doctor's office, and she takes along her teddy bear. Teddy bear is sort of her soother, you might say. Why will this not cut now? Let's try it out here. Maybe I was trying to cut on that. Well, maybe I should do them one at a time. Maybe that's the problem. So anyway, takes along her teddy bear. Yeah, that works. And after the inoculation's over, it went better than the little kid thought it was going to. And her teddy bear's name was Sam. And so she looks at the teddy bear and she says, see, Sam, that wasn't so bad. Okay, now here's another thought I'd thought. I was thinking, okay, now I gotta unravel these. I guess it'd go this way. But you know what? I want them in pairs of 2 anyway. Now, is this going to be too big and bold to try and hide on the part? Where's that piece? Okay, I stuck it over on the clock for safekeeping. Because I'm afraid of breaking off stuff like this. Okay, so let's just put it like so. Now, it's actually probably a lot smaller than a lot of wire. I think that we can probably maybe, I can probably paint this dark, you know, if I want to, or at least the part that might show with flat black so it doesn't show up. On the other hand, it may not show up anyway, depending on how the, you know, it could be that after the overhead bulkhead is on, there might be some sort of a shield or something here, if you know what I mean, so that you can't actually see in here. Okay, all right, just for the fun of it, let's take a look at the inside of this. This kind of wire might actually be better, and if it is a lot better, then what I could do is I could buy, you know, a long one. Like I've got a 50-foot of one of these, but I'm using it right now. Yeah, you can buy these really long. Let's stop talking about it and let's recompose and take a look and see. No, not those ones. And see here. Well, I was going to recompose, wasn't I? Okay, what have we got in there, and how easy is it going to be to remove the jacket? Now, are you going to make a fool out of me again? No. Okay. It looks like maybe there's only 2 wires. In that case, it's probably not going to be worth it. Let's just see if we can split it open here. Should I be doing this off camera? One thing being is it's flat. A person could make a wire stripper that you just sort of drag it through. I'm just going to quickly do this off camera because I can't get the angle just quite right here. Yes, there was only 2 wires in there, but they actually seem to be somewhat, you might say, finer. They're not quite as stiff. They're easier to work with. They probably, but not necessarily, are solid copper, so that would mean that they would be easy to solder. Let's just try it here and see if we can strip this. It might be, this wire might be too small. Doesn't want to strip. Probably going to break the wire. That's what's going to happen. No, it does not seem to want to easily strip anyway. Let's turn it this way. Probably frustrating it to death, aren't I? Okay. Yeah, I got it in the hole. No, it doesn't want to strip. Maybe I'll try a little bit less. No. Why is that jacket on there so hard? Why is that on there so hard? It's like they glued it on. I'm just going to turn the camera off here and take a look at this with the magnification hood and see what's going on. Okay, it did come off. What was catching was the fact that the jacket is very, very strong. Now, I've had experience with this kind of stuff before, and when I've tried to solder it, and it is very hard to solder for some reason. I don't know why, but it just is. It's hard to solder. So I think that this particular kind of wire is out, which is maybe a good thing because I don't think I've got enough of it anyway. And we've got our reinforcing thing going on there that's going to make it even more awkward, and it seems to be not as easy to remove as on this other wire. So I guess we're going to be, you might say, stuck with this stuff here, and it's not too bad. Let's just, for the fun of it, hook it up to and solder it to the leads that are coming out of the LED, and just see how it's going to work. Okay, I know we already looked at this stuff, but we really didn't look at it close. In fact, I don't know if I've ever looked at it close before, and I'm just wondering if the reason I was having such a difficult time soldering this kind of wire versus solid copper is because there seems to be that this reinforcing line, that probably there's a name for it, is woven into the individual little strands. Yeah, so looks like there's 4, but each one is made up out of 2, in which just trying to pull it out here. Anyway, I'm beating this to death, aren't I? Okay, I'm not going to be using this wire here. We'll be using the solid copper. Our walking friends did come by earlier this morning, and I was hoping they'd be coming by about the time I was doing my opening monologue, but they came by a little bit before that. I like to be able to dub it in and say live right now, but it didn't work out this morning. They had already come and gone, just by moments. Now, I could tell by the way they were walking, the walking was slippery. And they were kind of hanging onto the railing, it looked like. And now you may have noticed that they go up to something, turn around, and come back. Well, this morning only Dawn did. But yeah, what they go to, I believe, is a flower bed. It's sort of like a little landmark there, you might say. And interestingly enough, our friend Merv, from Merv's Flag, he likes to keep that flower bed looking nice. I've actually seen him all hunkered over and pulling weeds and stuff like that. Yeah, so in fact, I think you might have seen him doing it too in one of my bicycle rides. Yeah, you may have remember seeing a man weeding in that flower bed. Well, that was Merv. Anyway, yeah, they did come by this morning, slippery and all. Now, there was no sunrise this morning. It was too foggy. In fact, it's a little bit foggy at the moment. The sun is trying to shine, but now, about the sunshine. Tomorrow, the weatherman says that we are supposed to have sunshine. And I don't know how tomorrow's episode is going to go because tomorrow I want to be able to go and get my 2x4s. I think it's going to be a really good day for that. Right now I'm looking at my car and I can see that there is hardly any snow anywhere on it. So that's good news. Looks promising for tomorrow. Yeah, so in other words, tomorrow's episode might be a little bit different. We'll see how it goes. But I want to get those 2x4s now that the weather's nice, and I'll be able to work on them between now and spring. Okay, I'm going to call it quits here for today, and we're going to solder this up. I might work on it this evening, in which case we'll have a rollback. Yeah, we'll talk about our soldering and why I've set things up the way I did, probably in tomorrow's rollback. So thanks for watching, everybody, and all being well, we're gonna see you tomorrow.